Right guys, as promised, a little chat about the Scribe Pipefinder set, 3-inch Scribe set. It's, you know, the name is not important. What you get in the set, and I'm going to go through each one, the reason why. You're going to get your 3mm Pipefinder, which I have now just sort of, there are some still with the other holes in them, but in all honesty, if you're just going for a pipe, you only need the one hole if you're on the moorboard. So you haven't got to confuse yourself. They have also now, I can just remove this, got a shaded part around the 7, so when you are actually working with them on the moorboards, that's the drop you're going to need. Same again with the 5mm. Now the 3mm, I actually do use my one quite a lot because the markings of things and stuff like that is also another thing that's been an absolute nightmare since the beginning of having the perfect hole size and stuff like that. So the 3mm though, if you have got masking tape down, the 3mm is going to mark with a biro, but what it does is as the biro goes into it, it just can only penetrate it, well, penetrate it enough to hit the right spot where it's dead centre. This one does, yeah, sorry, and it actually will work on this one here because I've seen the spot where it's going to work. Is I've taken out the pipe bit because I don't know if you can see that. On even trying to get this one here, as it got into the corner, I'm stopping on there. If I turn it round, I'm stopping on there, and I'm not getting into that corner. So all of this one is, you know, I only come up with it because there was a cut there was a spot I couldn't get, and that's when I tweaked it. So unless you're doing pipes and that, I would get used to this one, and the abilities of it and what they actually do is so simple but so effective in that nobody ever got it. I mean, they would have mentioned it before. It's a very new aspect with the moorboards, but it's a real smack in the face, should have known it sort of thing. So anyway, I'm hoping I am going to get better at talk throughs. I've been saying that for years, but now I'm at the point where it's time for us maybe to, you know, really start getting involved in the training and teaching the different ways that we do, because they are different to everyone else. I mean, regardless of what they say, templating is the only way you get this sort of cut, and some of the other ones we're going to do. And which, please don't get me wrong, I mean, I think templating is one of the best skills you could ever teach a lad. I've seen a lot of them do it differently to the way we do it. I mean, I've seen people cutting it in there and putting biros around it. That's not the way we do it. But whatever works is whatever works. So what we're going to do now is just give an example of what the pipe finders are. I want to use my 3mm one because, like all tools, you get used to things. I don't want a new one. I like my old one. I've used the countersink to make mine big enough to take a biro. But on some of these ones, it won't get through. So anyway, but that sort of thing, it's up to you. The tungsten tips, they've got so many of these Scribe pens and that now on Amazon, or this new site, Timu, seems to do them for peanuts. So, and it will also sharpen the pick a pencil. You can get that one in there, but it is no room for wriggle room, so that's what you want. And once you get used to which side of your dot and start getting used to it, you know, it will just take your game to the next level because you've got the answer for everything. Well, I think it's the most, you know, like clever thing in that lot I've come up with since the very beginning. So anyway, all you need to know, apart from if you're not doing pipes, when you're on a herringbone or on any size or anything like that, no matter what the angle, you're either in close or you're not going to get the holly board in there, or, you know, for some reason, you know, you'll be stuck. This is like your get to thing. And all that matters, even though we're fitting an 18 by 12, is a 7 1/4 below it. So I'll remove the 7 1/4, and that's all you have to think about. I've dropped it 7 1/4, so all my marks will be 7 1/4, and that's it. There really is no other reason to complicate anything, and I think that's what's made it, you know, taken so long to learn, because you just feel like you should have known in the first place. Or it's, I've had lads in here, they've got the right answer, but they thought it was the wrong answer because it was too simple or easy. So that's the pill everyone's got to swallow, but it doesn't take long. So as a rule, there you go. Just going to make little dots. And the rule is, as long as you're square off the field, it doesn't matter what's in front of you there. You want to make it more accurate, make more marks, make them closer together. You can use Jeff square or even a board. You know what you've got? You've got to get the marks going square. The Jeff square is good because basically it lips on the tile. There's no rock in there, and that's always been the sort of genius of it. The actual 45 side of it come later on, but I think I see it the other day. It's one of the originals and different ones. See, Jeff used to make them out of a bit of lino. And so I made me and Dan these metal ones with a ruler. This is like, that's like 15 years ago. But again, it's just, these little things are always just clever little things and stuff like that. I mean, these are all from Jeff, these sort of things, a Jeff square. Obviously I put the 45 on it, but don't worry about it. Any marks where you start whacking them out there. My training days, I want to, this sort of thing, I'd like you to sort of like watch the videos, get to know. So when, if anyone does want to come down to us and stuff like that, I really want to just concentrate on everything, you know, every question that they've got, regardless of what it's involving, and make the day worth it for them. Right, now getting to the point where she's not going to go. I want to get right in that corner, and I can't because it's knocking on there. And that is purely, that is all it is. So with this now, I can slide that right up into those little points, and I can get all the ones that, I mean, there isn't a lot that it doesn't get, remembering it's 7 1/4. See, right up into that corner. And then you've only got to do, I'll show you later about on the wall, but this is the sort of thing, you've only got to do one mark on a wall, because then you would just put your template up against it and cut it to it. But I think I've rubbed the marks out there, or I haven't done them strong enough, but let's have a quick. Have a few goes. I mean, those boys have been, you know, been following me for ages. Keep all the other like PIPEFINDERs, because if they're the ones with this cut snapper, you can still use them to get into those tiny spots. And remember, they still scribe in the 9 by 3s. The only thing that's really important is that you make sure you're square off the field. That is the one thing that we need to drum into everyone, because it is the answer to every cut, believe it or not. So once you've got that, again, these the border buddies, they, you know, you do not have to get them whatsoever. Let's just put that in there to get that cut quickly. You can use, where's my template? See, that was the mark, wasn't it? So I'd put that up there and I would just slide it up. If it's not so. Till it hits my mark. When it's up at the template there, that's when I can cut it, can't I? As for this border buddies or anything like, the two curves on the internal and external, they're good for the quarter turn ball noses and the double ball noses. But other than that, this is just a separate curve from anything from, like, I don't know, 6 inches up to 36. So all you can have to do, I mean, there are versions of it on the art shops and that as well, is you link as many dots as you can and then just move the arc round until it connects some more, and it just gives you a nicer line. I mean, if you do enough dots, you probably won't even need it. But once you get used to using the pipe finder and its capabilities, you're going to be really, really amazed. It's got nothing to do with any other kind of method that's out there. Of course, it's been around since God knows what, but actually, when the penny drops with it, well, you'll understand when I get it, if and when it happens, because you wouldn't have to use it for every cut, but you could if you wanted to on anything. Okay, so it's not always a totally thing, it's just the drop. Whatever the drop is, it's brilliant on herringbones, because we'll show you, oops, we'll literally, I want to be showing you how to just do the first cut on any herringbone and that with the pipe finder, and then from that, you'll get your template for the whole job. So we're going to be going through all things like that in the future coming up. I haven't cut that bit off there. And if it's tight, you'll always end up seeing probably some of your dots. This is where, again, these cutting mats are phenomenal, but what I have noticed, where's the other one gone? The light grey and black ones that I first started getting, they're not as good, boys. They are, I've gone through a couple of them, so if you're going to get the cutting mats, you're better off paying a little bit extra. It's not dear, not dear at all. I mean, I cut this out of a massive one. But these green ones are much stronger for you to do that all day long. The other ones, I actually went through one of mine. But what you can do is you can dig your knife right into the mat and just pull it nice to get that gnat's cut off. Okay, so once we've got it there, okay, all you're going to do, use your pipe finder or your scribe tool, whatever one you've got handy, isn't it really? But in this case, You don't really need the Jeff. You've only got to put it on the edge of the tile, because remember, if it's butting off your field, it's going to be square off the field, isn't it? We've dropped back 6, so there's number 6. There's my little hole. I've got lines going down it now that are quite clear, so you can actually... Oops. I can butt this off of there quickly. So whatever the point touches, that's my little mark. Again, on the end of my field, so it's always square to the field, I'm just going to make another little mark like that. Fuck you. Where's my thing now? Right, on the edge, there you go, number 6. Double check that one again, then I will get my Jeff square out. Again, the more marks you make, the better. But if you had your dividers, you could easily create that curve and make a jig. So let's just get that there. And I do believe that's going to be a bugger again, isn't it? Getting into that corner. So again, this is where this one just comes in handy. And it's only for these ones that makes it any different to the others. But for me, you know, I only care about, I want to get every cut. But it is so cool. So let's get that around to there. See, if it was perfectly symmetrical, like you would get one of those double ball noses, really in theory you should just be putting, you know, your finger on the mark and then just bring that round till it touches the other one. So once you've got that on the marks, there's the other mark there, isn't it? So I'm going to just bring that down. I dropped the 6, got to put it back. I can still see my black marks on there, so it might be a bit tight, but again, who cares? See my black marks, let's see if it's going to be tight there. And cut that bit off it. So it is incredibly accurate, boys.